Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to polkzoo channel and the Guitar Ladder System. If you really want to take a quantum leap on guitar and you want to get thousands and thousands of dollars of material that will move you forward and help you really progress, just go to stevezookguitars.com. Invest in $199. You're going to get 100 studies, chart, and video. I do not send it all at once. People always seem to forget that. It's not effective that way because we're building kind of a subconscious database. Hey, this has really been interesting. I've been playing this guitar because I hadn't played it for months and months and months, and then recently I've been playing it every day. And it's starting to wake up. In fact, last night I was playing it. I could start to feel it in my chest when I was playing. And then somebody was nice enough to tell me what it is, which I thought was really cool because I don't read labels in Japan. It's an older vintage Suzuki. Suzuki Violin and Guitar Company, and they had some really top luthiers that worked for them. It's made in Japan. Date-wise, I'd say it's made in the 50s or 60s, and that's kind of easy to tell. It needs to have like the bridge, maybe the bridge sanded down, or the bottom of the saddle sanded down a little bit, depending on what you need. And every vintage guitar that needs that kind of work does not need a neck reset. I've had this conversation with top luthiers like John Carruthers and lots of great luthiers. And the people that are successful that don't need to sell a neck reset because they make a lot of money on it will admit, yeah, if the guitar sounds great, there's a lot of other, very inexpensive ways to fix it. And like I mentioned on my last video, I had a friend of mine, Sean actually, who used to do this for me all the time on older Japanese guitars, just sand the bridge down a little bit so you can bring the saddle a little bit. There's still room to bring the saddle down on this one, but you might need to also have the bridge sanded a little bit. It's not an expensive thing. But this guitar is really starting to wake up. I love the wood on this guitar. I'm not sure if you can see the figured wood. It looks like Brazilian rosewood to me, and it has that tone too. It's hard to explain the tone of Brazilian wood. It's a kind of a pianistic mid bass and mid. That's the only way like a grand piano mid bass and mids. It's got a certain organic body to it, a certain solidity, but yet also just a musicality and a bloom to it. It's really good. But this is really, I guess a lot of the older guitars made by the Suzuki Violin Company, or according to the research I've done, they're kind of undervalued. A lot of people don't realize what a great guitar they were. Really, really super high quality, but they had a very small, team of luthiers that made them, and they did a lot of focus on violins and guitars too. But from the research I've done, a lot of people are saying that some of the older classicals are really high quality. And this thing's starting to wake up. I'm doing a lot of, when I wake up a guitar, I try to do a lot of harmonics. But anyway, every time I play this guitar, it seems to be sounding good. Yeah, I was playing it last night, and all of a sudden I could start to feel this vibration in my chest. I'm like, yeah, this thing's just starting to wake up. I've got it in a flamenco tuning. it's got any decent luthier should be able to lower this for probably anywhere from 75 to 150. It's not that, I mean, maybe a little more, but if somebody's trying to charge a lot, that's not fair. I've lowered it a little bit. There's still room to lower a little bit. You can sand the bottom of the saddle a little bit more. Yeah, every time I play this, it sounds a little better. My Mark Anthony. I need some new strings. Not so much a performance, just I'm trying to do this guitar every day on here just so people can hear it kind of opening up a little bit. Anyway. Anyway, the strings are stretching out. Beautiful guitar, made in Japan. I would place it, like I said, either the 50s or the 60s. Highly skilled team of luthiers. I mean, Japan makes great musical instruments. Almost everybody knows that. And I don't think these were made in huge quantities. Like I said, to me, the wood looks like, it looks like Brazilian. It's got, I don't know if you can see this figure up in the area here and here on each side, but sometimes you can see it better if there's not so much light. Yeah, this is really cool. It's got a really interesting tone to it, and I would have no trouble just keeping this at all. But if somebody, and there's some wiggle on this, this is just not a guitar you run into every day. Anyway, you can email me, Steve Zook, the number 7, not spelled out, at yahoo.com, or text me 714-548-0385. Yeah, this is nothing more fun for me than opening up guitars. Probably needs to be clean. Yeah, it's a little dusty, but yeah, this is some really interesting wood in the back. That's one of the main reasons I bought this, because I just love that wood. I love the rosette too. The rosette is just stunning. I don't know if you're into rosettes. I am. I mean, that's a lot of intricate work there. That's not just one. Somebody doesn't just buy a big thing. That's painstaking, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work to make that rosette. It's just absolutely, it's art, man. Great guitars are art. I just sold a guitar this morning that's really rare. I'm going to miss it, but I kind of applaud the guy for buying it. And it was made in Japan as well, with some rare crisscross flame maple from the mountains of Japan. But yeah, Japan makes really good stuff. This one's, I would call this a sleeper, but like I said, most of my nylon strings I kind of bought more as a collection type thing, but I don't need 20 nylon strings, but the learning experience I've got from these, I can't remember how many I have. I have at least 20, but I've learned so much about guitars from buying so many nylon strings. And it's just fascinating to hear the different tones by the different kinds of woods and the different makers and whatnot, But there's a certain, you get kind of an intuitive feel for what a guitar is going to sound like as it starts to wake up, and that's really been fun. Like I said, this needs a little bit of setup work. It might cost you, it could cost as little as $75 depending on, who you use. Or I spent one day just sanding the bottom of the saddle and brought it down a little bit. It can come down a little bit more. But anyway, this is really a special guitar. Again, the rosette I think is just absolutely gorgeous, and I love this flamed wood. Not sure how good you can see that, but yeah, this is really kind of a reddish hue to that wood. I'm pretty sure that's Brazilian. All right, folks, take care. Have a good day. Let's all keep the positive faith. Remember, the universe is unfolding in time, not unraveling. Ciao.